Hi, everybody. Let's just give a round of applause for all the past speakers that were before me. They did a great job, didn't they? All right, I might get a little passionate, a little bit animated because I feel really strongly about this. So, when we were all young, watching TV or playing with our toys, such as guys, maybe Hot Wheels, or girls, Barbies, when we were all young, reality was more of a fantasy. Well, sorry, fantasy was more reality, sometimes more than not. As soon as we get to school, we're already being taught to draw on the dotted path or color inside the lines. And about 2 years into school, we developed this mentality that these creative classes, such as the arts or things like that, were kind of set apart from our main classes, and that we should maybe think about those as a side or practice those away from those. And there's a problem with this. And that's what I'm going to be talking to you about today, which is design thinking. So first, I want to start off with, what is design thinking? What does that mean? Well, design thinking basically is, watered down, is assessing your problem, clearly identifying what your problem is, and then coming up with a solution, do the analyzing, or coming up with solutions, so laying them out, all the solutions, and then singling out that one solution that will work, and then implementing it. So here you see a shape, a triangle, and this is represented as an idea. And here we get these triangles that come into the space, and these can be represented as ideas that we have, and you guys can fill in your own ideas along with this if you want. And what we can do with these is we can combine them to make something new. So that's basically the idea of design thinking, is combining these pieces together to make something that could change the world. Then on the other hand, we have this thing called the scientific method, which we all learn about 5th grade. Basically, the scientific method is taking something not well understood and breaking it down into its parts to better understand it. So here we have these two columns, and as we break them down, we can see their colors and their shapes to better understand what it really is. And this is sort of a visual way to help you guys understand how scientific method really works. And so the reason why I'm expressing these two processes to you guys is for you to understand the relationship. And they're obviously very opposite from each other, but they work together. There is a specific order to them. So here we have design method and the scientific method. And then if we just flip them, we have scientific method first, then design thinking. The reason why we have that is, when you think about it, scientific method is breaking it down, then putting it back together. This process is used in designers in architecture, industrial design, and it's very effective. And I think it can be applied in very many ways, many different areas of our lives. All right. A perfect example of these processes is the internet. For decades, humans have been able to mass communicate with each other, whether it been through the telegraph, Morse code, gramophone, or the typewriter. If we connect these few past technologies together, we get the internet. And these are just a few examples. We've had many different past technologies as far as communication. And they all contributed to the idea of the internet. So when you think about it, this amazing thing, the just general concept of the internet, really is made up of a bunch of past technologies. And the reason why this is a perfect example of this method is that you use synthesis, which is what design thinking is synthesis, taking these past technologies and putting them together to make something new and incredibly effective on the world. Also, another reason why it's a perfect example is the effect that it made. And that is a good design, is the effect that it makes. Not just what it is, but also how it affects people and how it helps people. And that is a true design. So I want to kind of condense this down a little bit more. Around in school, we have our core classes all around the world. We have our sciences, arithmetic, languages, and social studies. In school, we have this mentality that to be successful in school, we do homework, study, and listen, or learning. And this is supposed to equal success in school. So I really want to genuinely ask you guys, do you think this really means success? Does it really mean success in school, or does it mean success in life? How will this benefit you in life in the long run? So I want you guys to ask yourselves that question. So basically what I'm trying to convey with you guys is that we have the sciences, arithmetic, languages, and social studies, and design thinking here on the outside. And I hope to see someday that that's integrated into the school system. But I kind of want to move away from that right now, because we're all not going to change the school system in one day. What I really want to focus on, what we can do right now, and how we can apply this to our lives. So the last thing I want to touch on with you guys is thinking like a designer. Thinking like a designer is basically the same thing as the design process, which is thinking of your solution, thinking of what the problem is, moving on to possible solutions, such as these concepts here. You can see that these are drawings or ideas, and then singling out that one that works the best, and then doing it. This is the most important step of the entire process, is doing it. All the time we have conversations with our friends. Things like cool ideas, we get in a heated debate about something, or we get in a heated conversation about these new concepts, and then there's always that person that says, oh yeah, that would be cool. Well, that's wrong. You want to implement that. Doing it is the most important step, making it happen. And a lot of people come up with cool ideas, but they never do it. So what I'm trying to convey with you guys is this idea of design thinking can be applied to many parts of our lives, not just industrial designers. And the reason why this is important to me is that in freshman year in high school, I took this CAD class with my friend Austin, and they had this curriculum that was called the design process that we used to complete our projects. And it was very interesting to me, and I was fascinated by it. And it was the design thinking process, which is analyzing your problem, brainstorming all the solutions, then implementing that final solution. And I found this fascinating, that this could be applied to many different parts of life, not just designing products or buildings. So what I want to leave you guys with today is this quote by Scott Adams. Apparently it's not there. This quote by Scott Adams, creativity, oh, it's there, all right. Creativity is allowing yourself to make mistakes. Art is knowing which ones to keep. And this is very important. I want you guys to ponder this. Creativity, we misconceptualize that it comes out of thin air, when really all the great designers or all the great thinkers, they took from things that already existed, or they did a lot of studying and they put them together to make something new. They were ambitious. They went after it. So if you're not afraid to make mistakes, and you're not afraid to keep on doing it over and over and over again until you get that one solution, then eventually you'll come across that one solution that could possibly change the world. So design thinking is that missing link. It's not a substitute. It's that one thing that completes the circle. That one thing that could change the world. One step to a better and brighter future. Thank you.